Hey, all right, welcome. Join in, get around. Let's get into the market news that happened today. Today, we're going to be drinking Alani energy drink with our report today. So happy Alani. Oh, and Cinco de Mayo. Welcome, Cinco de Mayo. You have been celebrated today. We went and got some tacos, and not only is it Taco Tuesday, but it's Cinco de Mayo. So we got a great, fantastic deal on a lot of Mexican food today. And so I'm just really happy, beans and burritos. Let's go. Chipotle Mexican Grill. What a trash stock that's been lately. All right, let's get into it. So we got AMD, Palantir, Micron, MicroStrategy, or I guess strategy. And we're also going to be talking about Bitcoin and the latest news that came out today. AMD, well done. Let's get into it. So where are we at right now? So before we go any further, let's just jump in. VIX is coming down almost daily as we get a little bit more greedy on the market. And to go along with that, you can see the S&P 500 almost seemingly daily gets to an all-time high. Um, it's just a crazy market out there. We're loving this AI boom, and a lot of the models that are getting better, and all of the chips and semis and memory are all jumping in. And we're not seeming to really care too much about the conflict in Iran. That's kind of yesterday's news. And we're trying to look forward to positive earning beats, and we're starting to get those. And it's just turning out to be a really good premium selling environment. And so, if you stick to really good names such as the AMD, the Micron, the NVIDIAs, you can actually make some fantastic money. And they don't all have to be going up, down. They can go a little bit sideways. So we'll get into that today with Palantir. We have that one on deck here. So, our macro backdrop is we are low on the VIX. 17 to 18, and the S&P 500 is breaking through 7,200. So lots of really positive news. People are making money, and that's what we like to see here. So earnings that came out today from AMD. So EPS was 137, expected to be $1.27. So a nice beat there. Revenue coming in at $10 billion, 38% rise on that year over year. Data centers making up more than half of the revenue that they're getting in. And they're also increasing their forward guidance from up to 11.2 billion. That's up 46%. After hours, the market really liked what they saw from there, putting on another $20 or so. So we do expect a nice lift tomorrow morning. What I would do there as AMD opens, get a read on it, give it about 30, 40 minutes, let the IV crush settle in, and then move in and make a trade on that. And I'll get into what I would be doing to trade AMD in a little bit here. Meta signed a 6 gigawatt commitment with AMD, and they're going to do their first 1 gigawatt on the custom MI450. This is a structural data point. This is fantastic news for AMD if you're a shareholder. If you're not having some shares in AMD, it might be a good time to reconsider that, change your erroneous ways with investing, and take a look at AMD. They are a player you want to be in with AMD and get some exposure there. It's a good risk on investment that you want to be trading. And if you don't know how to trade AMD, jump in to see if you know how to trade AMD. We've been trading it all along this way, in and out, making a lot of profit and a lot of money. What the news that I really like today, let me give you this. This was a pretty cool little notch and milestone that we got here. I'm not sure if I can bring this in. Is it? Share your wins. Yeah, this is it here. This is awesome. I'm going to just show my screen here. This was the news that we got out today. Dell shared this in our Discord here. I'm going to bring it in here, nice and zoomed in. His performance that he's been getting from trading with CFU, his 5-year cumulative pre-tax return comes in on a whopping 253% over the last 5 years, handily beating the index. S&P 500, credit to the S&P 500, bringing an 85% return. And although that's great, I mean, just imagine getting 253%. And he did say here the performance wouldn't have been possible without CFU. And that's because we have a great community. Look at all the emojis that he got off that post there. And it's true, when you're trading with a community, when you're bringing in like-minded, but also different eyes and ears from the community and sharing thoughts and ideas, that's where you're going to be able to get some great returns and outsized returns, handily beating uh, the market. So like that. That was good news. Thanks, Dega, for sharing that. Okay, so AMD did fantastic. Let's get into some other stocks that are also moving. So Palantir, you got a beat and a raise. They grew at the fastest rate that they have grown since 2020. Revenue came in fantastic, getting $100 million extra over the expectations there. Earnings per share, they got a 9-cent raise on the expectations, and the US commercial has been increasing by 130%. Full year guidance is looking fantastic. But what's crazy is that they only raised, oh, they only went up by 1% after hours. Why is that? Well, they have so much the perfection that's already been priced into their stock that as long as they continue to grow, that's what was been expected all along. So you got to do even better. You have to be a blowout, just amazing new business or amazing new product or amazing new opportunity in front. So Palantir, you do have to keep on growing. And even though you get these amazing smashes and beats, it's kind of like, well, that's what we expected you to do. So, good on it, keep going. But we're not just going to, pop your stock price for that. Micron, back-to-back sessions of amazing jumps each and every day, the last 3 sessions. They're breaking structure. And we'll get into how we would be trading Micron as we get into that. MicroStrategy, or sorry, strategy. Michael Saylor, you guys in your earnings call today admitted that you will be selling Bitcoin going forward strategically in order to fund STRC. I'm not so sure we really like hearing that. I think we like to hear better that you're accumulating Bitcoin, you're continuing to add to your stack, and you're going to get across that 1 million Bitcoin sometime in 2026. I get it. I know why you need to be able to sell some Bitcoin strategically and be able to raise cash in order to pay out that dividend for STRC. Uh, but you're changing the narrative just a little bit here, and so that's why with strategy, I would want to just avoid it for now a little bit. Give it a few more days to pan out. I do like STRC. It's a great way to get an 11.5% dividend, and just the play that they made today reaffirms that they are prizing their ability to pay that dividend on their preferred stock. Bitcoin doing fantastic. It's at 81,386. You're doing great. Keep on going and continue to watch. I shared this also in our Discord today that I daily buy IBIT. It's a quick and easy way and efficient without any commissions and very tight bid and ask spread to accumulate Bitcoin each and every day. It's very, very easy. It's a nice little habit that I just wake up and I also buy some Bitcoin to start my day. Okay, let's get into where we are. Some 3 setups, and I'm going to show you some high conviction setups. I'm going to show you some charts and break down how I'm seeing the market and on those 3 tickers that we already talked about here today. So AMD post earnings PCS. So I love AMD, and I think even if you get this trade wrong, you can still roll it and still do fantastic with AMD going forward in the next 6 to 8 months. However, I do think you can still make some fantastic profit with a put credit spread that's 30 to 45 days out. You're short Delta because it's so liquid and you have so many strikes to be picking from. You have no reason why you can't be getting Delta 25 on this. You could be getting into the 320 to 315 on the short strike there. And of course, you want to buy that long put to go with it and hedge it just in case you have to roll it in the future and keep that flexibility and the ability to move the strikes up and down and push them out forward if you need to. So what I would do entering into the AMD trade tomorrow, I would wait 30 to 60 minutes first in order for things to calm down. There's going to be a lot of bids and a lot of asks coming in, and the market's going to be very liquid and very all over the place. Give it some time, let the IV crush settle in. So an hour after the market opens up, on AMD, that's when I would start dabbling in and say, okay, what are we going to be getting for a Delta 25 30 days out? Nice, clear entry there, and then go for it. Pull the trigger on it. Just be careful with AMD. They are trading at an all time high. That's why I want to give them an hour into the open tomorrow morning and see how we do there. All right, here's your AMD chart. Yeah, like we were saying, it's been making all time highs the last 3 sessions in a row. Sorry, your last 3 sessions were 1, 2, and 3, and then today's trading here was a nice candle within the wide body candle from the day before. So nice chart here on AMD, clearly above the 50-day moving average, clearly above the 200-day moving average. You got a lot of demand here down in the 200 range, but that's not where we're trading right now. So what I would want to do is I come in here. I'd like to do a nice gap on this one here. Sorry, we have a gap here. So we have the 312. That would be a great strike to be selling. So 312.50 if that's available, or a 315 or a 310. That's exactly where I'd want to be trading that. I want to take advantage of that nice little gap up there. And so maybe what I would want to do is maybe you go a little bit lower here, and then I would bring in my next strike below that. And so I'd be coming in on a 310 and a 305. See if I could get $1.25 on that 5 wick spread. Put that out 30 days, and that's going to be a nice trade for me here. If you're looking for a bearish play on this, so you're thinking this is overextended, and it likely is, there's no reason to say AMD couldn't pull back a little bit. Then we got this nice area down here where it could pull back into. So I would want to be going above this week high. Yeah, this is a week high there. I would want to go above that. And so I would just go above until I'm getting Delta 25 on that. And then that's what I would be selling. So if you want to do that real quick here, so let's go to option strat. So if you want to do that real quick, so we come over to option strat, and then we just type in AMD strike here. And that's the problem with this. Well, yeah, there's really no point in going into options strat and doing the pricing on the options here, because we're going to be getting such a new market tomorrow when AMD opens up. So there's really not a whole lot of point in trying to speculate where we're going to be getting at. The after hour market had them trading in the 370 to 380 range. So wait to see that happen. They could be pulling back down into this previous high zone here, and that might be an area that you want to be selling that put credit spread. If not, then maybe down in here, I would love to be selling this for $1.25 if that's available for me. All right, next ticker, let's get into it. Okay, so Micron has been on an absolute tear. We are actively trading this right now as CFU, and it because it's been ripping so hard to the upside through this channel here, and it broke the structure and it continued to run. We've actually had to close out our put credit spread and open up a new one, and then open up a new one again, and just ride this sucker up. It's a great stock to own as well too. They make the memory that's also being used in AI. Their high bandwidth memory, HBM, and you need to have some exposure to Micron. Let's dive into the chart here. What I would want to be doing is you're going to be the play on Micron is that they're rising with all the semis, right? So as you have your Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, et cetera, as they're all raising and running to the moon, they have to drag Micron along with it, because you're not going to go very far without the best quality memory that you can get out there. So pulling in, let's take a look at the chart on Micron here. So this is a really easy chart to be reading here. And I'll go through a few pointers on this. You could take this forward and use it on other stocks as well too. So right through here, AMD had a nice bull run here, and then it hit this resistance, and it came into a consolidation phase. You can see it here, kind of trading sideways for a while, right? As it was going through this, and it had a bit of a pullback here with some profit taking, people saying, hey, you know what, it's had a good run, I want to pull my money out and move on to the next trade. It went up and down below the 50-day moving average. When it decided to start coming back up here and it broke the 50-day moving average, that's a bullish indicator. A lot of institutions and fund managers will use that to their advantage, and so they'll buy in at that point here and say, hey, there's another leg up coming. Well, they were completely correct. When it came across here, that's a buy signal. When it came up here and then it hit resistance as it did before, that's when you want to be saying, okay, if you break above this with conviction, that's another buy signal. That would be confirmation of the previous buy signal if you did not get in at that point. That would have been another, so a nice change of character here. It's breaking above the previous resistance and going up, and it did that with conviction. That's a nice, strong, wide body green candle. You want to get in on that. As it raised through here, and then it started to hit the next consolidation phase here, this is where you would actually have sold. Okay, so if you're trading the stock, or if you're looking for entries and exits with options, this is where you would have been buying at the 50-day, the change of character, and then you would have sold right around at this point here where that X is. Now, of course, we're never correct 100% of the time. Well, right after that, Micron decides to put in some serious pain to the short sellers, and 1, 2, 3 massive green candles, 2 gaps to the upside as it raced up tier. Uh, I would be a little skittish to be buying in this area here. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I do anticipate it'll do well with AMD. with it trading in sympathy with AMD, it's probably going to get another strong bid to the upside there. But I'd be a little cautious up in this area here. Micron, you need to kind of pull back a little bit, find some new buyers here as you consolidate and pull back. And you got to get some profit taking here from people that got in on this nice run. So with with Micron, we are in a bullish position on this. We do have a PCS out right now on Micron, and so we are hoping that it continues to rise or at least go sideways on this. We have a lot of downside cushion on the Micron position here. If you're curious what we're in on the Micron, if you're curious where we are with the Micron trade, so this is our website that we have with CFU. When I come in here on the member login page, we have this is our dashboard that we have here. We have an earnings calendar here for the current next 7 days and the upcoming days there. We have some kind of scanners here that give you some good indicators on stocks that we would be trading and some quick ideas if you're looking to get in on some. But let's go into our open positions here. If we go down with our Micron trade, yeah, so we got a put credit spread on this. We're looking at 540. Man, like that's even after we raised our PCS on that. We were in the 300s, now we're at the 540s. And even when we entered in on that, I was like, good, bam, I want to get to 540 and I want to tighten it up as much as possible. And we actually bought the 537.50 on this one here. So we got a good credit on that. That was a couple days ago. But with the raise and raise and raise of the last few days, we're even looking better on that. So good position there. And of course, we can click into this. We can get all the data that we have on this trade here. So we can see the risk and decay metrics, the strategy legs that we're playing with, and the transaction history on this. So we've been trading this for quite some time. But yeah, you can see that we're short on the 540 and long on the 537.50. Cool beans, right? Yeah, that's what they say. All right, let's get back into this. So on this one here, I'm not going to be buying any more Micron until I get a bit of a pullback there. That looks like an Eiffel Tower to me. But we're in the 540 range here on this trade. Palantir, I would love to put on an iron condor on Palantir. I think you're going to be trading neutral and sideways for a bit there. I think you're going to be getting a lot of good sympathy momentum and sympathy buying on Palantir, but I don't think it's going to be enough to put it into the profit zone. Sorry, to put it into the upside profit zone. I think we're going to be seeing more of a sideways iron condor type style on Palantir. The premium should be really good on Palantir. It's a high beta stock, so be able to get in there and get a nice iron condor. What I would want to be doing is, again, the 30 to 45 days. That's that nice theta sweet spot. I would want to do probably with the 125 short on the put, and then I'd want to be doing the 160 on the call side. Let's jump in on the Palantir. Every time I think about Palantir, I always think of Lord of the Rings. All right, so there's the 165 call. That's right above the 200-day moving average, and it's right above a nice supply zone here, right? So you can see the supply zone here. So every time Palantir has been getting into this area, the market is very willing to supply shares to buyers who are willing to pay that higher price. And it's having some problems trying to get above the 50-day moving average. With it being below 50 and below the 200-day moving average, that is a slightly bearish signal on that. So you could be seeing Palantir dip down into this area here. That's the 125 zone. In the 125s, they would be getting some demand come in here. That's highlighted by the shaded blue area where it has had support numerous times before, and buyers tend to step in there, especially with them smashing earnings and doing so well lately. If they ever did get down here, I would be selling a cash secured put. In fact, I may even want to just flat out sell a cash secured put down in this area here. But as we're going through here, we can kind of see a neutral sideways trend. And after their earnings beat as well, too, like that wasn't a catalyst enough to get you going. I get why you don't want to go, but at the same time, that was a good bullish indicator if you've ever been looking for a solid, good quarter. Two back-to-back beats, and you still haven't been able to get back up to 200. All right, so I would be doing the 165 call, and then I'd want to be doing that 125 put on the bottom side there. And then I would put it at just 5 wide spread on that. No need to go any more on that. And you'd probably get about a dollar, at least $1.50 up to 225 to 250 might be able to pull on that, especially if you leg in. So if it pulls back down here, sell that 125 with the 120 hedge on it, and then wait for it to pull back up into here, then sell the call side and create your iron condor on that. That's a very good kind of leg in strategy. But sell the bottom, sell the top, then go in sideways as it goes through there. So take a look at that one. That's a good one. I've been putting that out to like at least the June timeframe, to late June. No need to put that out any further. And if you do get into trouble on the call side to the upside there, or the put on the downside, if you get into some trouble there, CFU members always get guidance and help, and we have a very active member base. We have a very vibrant community, and if our pro traders aren't going to help you out because they're so busy, the members are going to help you out as well too, and help you guide and get in on how to manage that trade if it gets sideways on it. And when I say sideways there, it's like, yeah, if the trade doesn't work out, of course you want it to go sideways here with Palantir for a little bit. Now I own quite a few of Palantir shares. I'm bullish on it long term. So anything I've said before, like, take it with a grain of salt. Like, I am bullish on Palantir long term. If you have 100 shares or more, definitely be looking at selling covered calls as it goes into strength here, right? So this is a good area to be selling covered calls on Palantir. All right, Palantir, where we got next? Okay, what I'm avoiding, MicroStrategy and Bitcoin proxies. So I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I love the idea of hard money, scarce asset. It cannot be changed or disrupted by governments. It's got a nice resistance to it. So I love having a bit of Bitcoin. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, I buy a bit of Bitcoin every single day. Just go in and buy a fraction of it, a little bit, stack those stats, right? Stack the sats, so to speak. What I don't like about MicroStrategy is today you came out with a horrible earnings report, to be honest. You're not making any money from an operational standpoint. You're just stacking, leveraging, selling STRCs, selling at the money stock of strategy if you need to, issuing all this, equity debt and selling away your ownership, so to speak, in exchange for Bitcoin. I get it, and it's a nice levered proxy for owning Bitcoin. But you know what? In today's day and age, I just want to own two things out of strategy. I want to own Bitcoin. So I just want to go in and buy Bitcoin itself. I don't need to have some guy get in there and kind of like, be that middleman, so to speak. So buy Bitcoin. Second, STRC. If you believe in MicroStrategy, if you believe in STRC, like, it's a fantastic way to get 11.5% dividend paid out monthly. And it turns out they're going to be starting to pay it bi-weekly or twice a month. That's another great way. Imagine getting paid, this fantastic dividend paying stock and with no NAV erosion, and you're going to be doing fairly well there. So I like STRC. I like IBIT and MicroStrategy, or man, I keep on calling it MicroStrategy, but strategy, yeah, not so much of a fan. Like to get some exposure in different ways there with strategy. So that's all we got for today. A little brief there on what we're doing and some trades that we got coming up here at CFU. If you want to get in with us and trade with our community, jump on in. Go on over to joincfu.com. Check us out. Give us a look over, and we'll see you inside the Discord. Take care. Ciao.